Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Washington with this week's episode of Refined Intuitions. Now, today, we really are going to focus on keys to a better compromise. First and foremost, what is compromise? Now, compromise is defined as an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. In other words, it's really giving up something with the intention of ending an argument or dispute for future mutual benefits. Now, compromise is one of those things that it sounds really easy to do, but let's just be honest, and most of us really do not compromise very well, and most of the time we feel like we're giving up too much when we do compromise. So today, we're really going to focus on learning how to compromise, not just in the sense of giving up, but making sure that we have something together where we're moving forward, we're working together, we're building, and goes from a win-lose to a win-win. Why compromise, right? That's the biggest question we always ask. Why should I compromise with you? Why should I give up what I want to make sure that you can have what you want? What benefit is there in for me? Well, let's start it. Compromise really builds trust. Now, we all know trust is one of the hardest things to gain and one of the hardest things to gain back when it's lost. If you ever been in any kind of relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a personal relationship, family relationship, you know once trust is broken, it's a lot like breaking glass. Yes, you may find all the pieces. Yes, you may glue everything back together, but that glass never looks the same. And that's why compromise is so important, because it allows us to actually build trust. It's saying that, hey, I don't have to always be right. I don't always have to have things go my way. I will trust in you. I will give you the opportunity to use what you have to benefit us. Which brings me down to my next point. It creates new ideas. Some of my best ideas I did not think of. Some of them I got from other people. Sometimes they came from other compromises, me giving up my way and of myself. And that really allowed someone else's idea to flourish. And then I realized, hey, wow, this is really good. I want to start using this for myself. So compromise helps create new ideas. And you never know really how good an idea is until you start to compromise. Because sometimes the things that sound dumb turns out to be the best things for us. Next, it builds self-control. Now, this is a huge one because most of us, we feel like we have self-control, but at the same time, we're really more like little kids that can't have their way. A lot of times we think it's the best thing to do, and we're really just being extra selfish, and we're not looking at the full picture. Now, compromise helps us get out of our own way and say, you know what, even though I cannot have my way, we're going to do things the right way. And as long as it's done the right way, then guess what? We have an opportunity to win, and we can grow and do something good together. Now, another reason why you want to compromise is because compromise shows that you're willing to meet the needs of other people. So many times we say we want what's best for others, but are we really doing what's best for others? See, compromise shows that you're actually doing what's best for others. You're actually putting walk to your talk, which is the best way to do it, right? So, are you really saying, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes so we can move together? Compromise helps with that. Because now you're saying, hey, you are being heard. You are a person. Your opinions matter. You are significant. You are a good person. I trust your ideas. I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to put myself aside. So now we're meeting the needs of other people, and now we are growing as a whole. Next, it actually does show that you value other people's judgment. It's easy to say that we value, but compromise is the difference. That says, hey, I may not always be right. You actually may be right in this situation. So that's what that does. Also, it does show a willingness to use other people's ideas. Again, by creating new ideas and listening to other people, we're actually giving ourselves the time to mingle ideas, come up with better ideas. And just because your idea might be good, someone else's idea might be better. And you never know. It's all a matter of taking the time to listen and using those ideas. And of course, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then hey, back to the drawing board and y'all can try something else. Now, it also does show that you value other people. Now, just like gives you the option to really meet other people's needs, showing that you value other people is just as important. So many times we say, oh yes, you're important, but actions show otherwise as well. But compromise says, hey, you are truly important to me. I am going to, again, get out of my own way and show you that it's not all about me. I won't just be selfish. You are just as important as I am, and your ideas are just as important as mine as well. Lastly, how do we compromise? And this is probably one of the biggest things we ever will ever have to worry about, is because it's good to say, yes, compromise is important. It's good to say, okay, I know why I should compromise. But this is the application portion. Application simply is doing it. This is actually how to compromise. Most of us know what a compromise is. Most of us know why it's important. Most of us know that we should compromise. Most of us also know that, compromise is the way to go. But let's ask those same people how many people actually do compromise. And we can start getting those looks around the wall like, I think I do. I'm not really sure. Well, this will actually show you how to compromise. Step 1, figure out where you stand. And no, this is not what side of the street you're on or what side of the bed that you're on. No, this is where are you right now. So what you want to do is you want to step into the other person's shoes. This is how they're thinking. And I know sometimes, especially in relationships, we have this part tough. This is one of the hardest things we can do. Even in business, because we always want things to go our way. So we're not looking at the other person. We're not saying, okay, what do they think? Why do they think this way? What is their motivation behind what they're saying? Now, to do that, you also have to listen actively. Now, you're looking at the person and you're removing all distractions, which means while you're doing this, put your phone on silent or turn it off or put it on vibrate if something important might be coming up. Don't look around the room. Tell the kids, I need y'all to go somewhere else. I need all important phone calls. If it's not an emergency, do not call me. Right now, we're working on this. Whatever the case is, whatever you have to do, remove those distractions and let the person know or your team know, hey, this is important. We're going to sit down. We're going to figure this thing out, and we're going to make the next move forward happen. After that, you have to ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that don't necessarily end with just a yes or a no. Will this work? Yes. Will that work? No. Those are closed-ended questions. You want to ask, why do you feel this will work? If we did this, what would be the outcome? So you want to ask questions that make people have to explain. A lot of times we want to be quick with our answers and we want to close up because we don't want to speak, or we don't want to give people answers because we only want our way. With compromise, we're getting out of our way, we're getting out of ourselves, and we're answering and asking the tougher questions so that way we can come to a real benefit and mutual agreement. So that way we can end some of our struggles, end some of the issues that we've been having, and we can actually do something with ourselves and for ourselves and our team that is going to allow us to, we'll say, go to the mountaintop. That's the best way I can put it. After that, you want to assertively communicate your needs. Hey, this is what I need. This is why I need it. This is what's going to help. This is why this is going to help. Those are very important. A lot of times we simply say, I need this. I need $1 million. Okay, great. Why do you need $1 million? Because I need it. Well, that's not telling me nothing. That's not telling me what you're using it for. That's not telling me how it's going to benefit. If it's for a business and you're in the middle of negotiations, you're not telling me how that $1 million is going to help me make money. So on and so forth. So you really want to effectively and assertively communicate your needs. So not just you're the only person in the room who understands what's going on. Compromise is simply about everyone coming together for, again, a mutual benefit. So communicate those needs. Also, you need to be clear about your non-negotiables. I say this all the time. Do not, and I will not, compromise my morals and my values. So if it's something that you want me to do that's going to compromise my morals or my values, I will not do it. So you want to be clear. For some people that may not be an issue, but for me that's an issue. So therefore, you want to communicate that and be very clear and very specific. I will not do this. I will not do that. And if the person doesn't want to work with you, then there's nothing you can do. But there are things you cannot compromise. And for me, those are my morals and values. For you, it may be something else. For you, it may be a dollar amount in regards to a negotiation. Or it may be a specific person or a team of people. I would not extend myself past the number of people that I have here. If this is going to cost me to have to bring in 4 or 5 new people, or I won't be able to use my current staff, then guess what? I cannot work with that. Whatever that negotiation tool is, use it. Find out what your non-negotiables are. Next is step 2. Coming up with solutions. Now, when you're coming up with a solution or solutions, you want to find common ground. Where do y'all both fit? What is something that you want and the other person wants that is exactly the same? What is that? It may be to reach a goal. It may be to be better as a couple. Or it may be a number of things. Whatever it is, what is it that you both want? What is the end outcome that you're looking for? Once you have that end outcome and you know exactly where y'all both stand and what your common ground is, take turns speaking. Now, that does not mean interrupt the person because you don't want to hear the next thing that's coming out their mouth. No, that means be quiet, shut your mouth, don't say nothing, just nod your head, and if it's saying something that's incorrect or wrong, just hold it until the person is done speaking. And then it's the next person's turn. And when the next person talks and speaks and gives their opinion and answers your questions, your concerns, you also need to listen. 2 people arguing back and forth is not a compromise. 2 people not letting each other speak and cutting each other off is not a compromise. That's not communicating. All that's doing is creating more attention, and at the end of the day, no one wins when there's more attention. Remember, compromise is giving up something for the purpose of not winning the argument or the dispute, but you're giving up something for mutual benefit to end an argument or dispute. Now, next after that, you want to offer an exchange for ideas and solutions. So you're offering an exchange of ideas for solutions. So you're saying, okay, these are my ideas. This is how I want to solve the problem. The next person says, okay, these are my ideas. This is what I want to do to solve the problem. Again, we're speaking in turn, not interrupting each other, giving the person to explain the idea, why they feel this idea is the best idea, and what their intended outcome is for that idea. After that, you want to do a trial run. Now, however y'all do the trial run is up to you. Heads or tails, flip a coin, rock, paper, scissors, whatever it is that you want to do, you do it. But basically, the trial run is simple. The same way you have a trial for Amazon or for Netflix, all you're doing is seeing if it's going to work, if it's something that you want to continue with. And doing that trial run, actually give it a shot. If you're saying, hey, well, we're going to give it a trial run, we are going to try this new cooking technique for the next 3 weeks, or this new cutting technique. actually try it out for the next 3 weeks. And if it turns out to be something that doesn't work, go on to the next idea. So your idea didn't work? Okay, great. Go on to his idea or her idea. That's what you want to do. The good, healthy back and forth that allows you to know which way is best. And whichever way is best is the way you want to go with. And then lastly, step 3. Making the process run much, much smoother. You want to stay solution focused. So what that means? No more blame game. Alright? There's a great song by Kanye and John Legend I love called The Blame Game. Let's play the blame game. I love it. That's it. Like, that's all you're doing is you're going back and forth and say, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. No. We're trying to find solutions. So stay focused on what you want. What is your end result? That's what matters most. Not who did what, when they did it, why it was wrong. No, we're past that. We're now making a solution and we're trying to figure out which solution is the best solution. So let's stay focused on the answer and not the problem. Albert Einstein has this quote, I love quoting it, and it says, if you give someone an hour to solve a problem, they're going to spend 50 minutes on the problem and 10 minutes on the answer. So we're looking to switch that up. We're going to spend more time on the answer because guess what? The problem is not going to change. The problem is still going to be the problem. So the more time you dedicate to the answer, the quicker and more effective the answer will be. Okay? Next, you want to be respectful of the other person. Again, no blame game. No cutting people off in the middle of their sentence because you don't like the thing they have to say. No, well, that doesn't matter. No, it all matters. Everything matters. And we tend to do that a lot with each other. Next, breathe deeply. Now, this is what I mean by that. Sometimes we get into these situations where we're trying to compromise, and especially big on when it comes to our personal relationships. And we get upset because we really don't want to hear what the person's saying because it's telling us some truth that we don't like. And we are getting really upset and we want to fly off the handle, cuss them out, just all kinds of stuff. Don't do that. Breathe. Relax. Woosah. That's all you got to do. If you need to rub those ears for a little bit, woosah. Woosah. Let the other person speak and get through what they're saying because you need to be able to have your anger and your tension under control. And breathing deeply does help with that, or whatever technique that you need to use to make sure that you can keep your anger under control. Next, you want to be realistic. Now, this is huge for the simple fact that we like to put too much on other people. Well, I need you to do this, and then we'll work. Well, give me what I can do now, then we can work. At least I can work on things systematically. I can't work on everything in a day. Rome was not built in a day. And because Rome was not built in a day, it took a while to build Rome. It's going to take us a while to change our behaviors, our mindsets. Especially the hardest thing to ever change is your mind. Why? Because our mind is ruled by our philosophies. And we get our philosophies by the things that we learn, things that we read, the things that we've been ingrained as children to believe. Those are not the easiest things to change or to reverse. It takes constant willful, that's the thing. Willful, which means you actually got to want to do it. Pressure and motivation. You got to actually want to do it. If you don't want to do it, guess what? You're never going to change. So you have to be realistic with what they want to do and what they're trying to change and what they're not trying to change and what's going to work and what's not going to work. You can't say if you're in a business meeting, all right, great, well, I'll compromise with you, but you got to bring me the money tomorrow. No. If it's going to take them a while to make that surplus, you got to be realistic with how long it's going to take, your timetables, what is it going to take, what are your actionable items, what kind of things can you monitor, what can't you monitor, what things can go wrong, what things can't go wrong. That's what you want to look at. So you want to be realistic. Next, the whole point of compromise is to build the win-win. So we got to get rid of this win-lose perspective. You're gaining something, but I'm losing. I'm gaining something they're losing. I'm getting over on this person. They're getting over on me. That's not what a compromise is. Getting over on somebody is a con. No, what you want to do is you want to create a win-win situation. You get this by giving up this. I get this by giving up this. Now we both win. We both had to give up something. But now we both win. We both got what we wanted. And now we're both, again, we have that mutual benefit for now and for the future. And for those things that you may have had to give up, you may be able to get those things at a later time. That's how compromise works. So get rid of that mindset and that thinking that I'm losing something or this person is getting over on me. That is a terrible compromising thought that will hurt you when it comes to compromise. And then lastly, once the compromise is found, write it down. Now this is the part that we really don't ever do. And it kind of hurts us. It actually really does hurt us. And the reason why I say that is because we tend to forget. We say, hey, I'm going to mow the lawn on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But because we've never gotten in the habit of doing it, guess what? We forget. Then the person says, well, I thought you said you were going to do this on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I never said that, did I? Oh, you never want to work with me. Now we're starting arguments again. Versus saying, hey, you wrote down that you're going to be doing this, this, and this on these days. You're going to be giving us this, this, and this, and according to this. And they're like, oh, you know what? Okay. We have it in writing. It's done. Okay. We will make sure it gets done. See, old job I used to say, if it's not in writing, it never happened. And compromise is that exact thing. If you do not write it down, it did not happen. You could do every single thing we talked about. But if you do not write it down, it's easy for someone to say we never did that. It's easy for someone to say you're just picking on me. It's easy for someone to say it. See, you never listen to me. You never give me my way. But if it's written down, exactly what happened, what you said, what the agreement was. And I would go as far as saying have both of you sign it. And then have each of you have a copy. Just like you do a contract. And the reason why is because now you can say, hey, we have it written down and we both signed it. So we both acknowledge that this happened. And I know a lot of companies do this. And we don't necessarily think about doing this in our personal lives. But it is a great practice to have in our personal lives. Because now it holds everyone accountable. You can't say you didn't do it. You can't say it wasn't you. You can't say that nothing that happened. Guess what? It's in writing. It's written down. And each person is held accountable because they say I'm willing to be held accountable by writing it down and by signing it. So it's a great practice, especially in our personal lives, that we can do and we can keep up with. Now, at the end of the day, this is designed to help us all understand not just why it's important, how to do it, and what is compromise, but it's also important to know that compromise is not a one-time situation, not a one-time deal. Compromise is not it's going to fix all my problems immediately. No, it's a process. Keep up with the process. It's understandable. Everything is a process. Everything that is worth it takes time. It requires a little bit of work. You can do this. This is not a problem. I have all faith that it can be done. Follow these steps, and you can definitely make it happen. If you want to know where I got some of these steps for how to compromise, I'll place the link below that actually shows exactly where I got the steps for compromising on. I like them so much, I wanted to use them as well. And believe me, they really do work. So use them. Let me know what you guys think. And again, If you like this video, make sure you share it. Make sure you like, subscribe to the page, Refined Intuitions. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, go ahead and write down below. As well as you have me on Facebook, Anthony Washington, or my fan page, Refined Intuitions. As well as on Twitter. You can look me up on Twitter as well at thegrowth_mind. And then also you have me on Instagram at Refined Intuitions. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.